just want to talk to you guys about failure, and it's something that nobody wants to talk about. And I literally the other night I just wrote this huge brain dump thing about how being willing to fail is literally what will help you to succeed eventually. I put that in the notes there because I feel like so many people are so incredibly afraid of failure that it keeps them from doing anything. And then I'm over here failing constantly. Like, I sometimes will get in my head, be like, people must see me as this total failure because there's a lot of things that I've done badly. I've learned the hard way, but it has helped me to get to where I am, and it has helped me I can't even put it into words, but I'm gonna try. What inspired this video, originally, I like to watch a lot of other YouTube channels, and there were two different YouTube channels. I actually sent them to myself. I sent myself an email link so I wouldn't forget. Okay, this first one is from Alex Hermosi. I actually found him through watching Think Media. So this is like a collaboration that they were doing. Let me just play you a little clip here.
A big part of that is that you just get better over time. And so I said this quote and it got shared a lot. It's like, you're not making as much money as you want because you're not as good as you think you are. I'm just being real. Like, I don't know, I could have done like here's my 17,000 content model, you know what I mean? But like, the real is that you're probably not that good yet, and that's okay. Like, the only person beating you up is you, right? The only way to get better is volume. And the only way to get even better than volume is volume times time. Volume times time equals skill. Got to do it a lot of times for a long period of time, and you will get better. If you suck today, you will suck less tomorrow. And eventually, one day you will look up and suck so little that you will actually be good. And then people will ask you, how did you become an overnight success?
All right, now let me just play you another something from Mr. Beast in this clip right here.
And I do that for a lot of people. I just counsel people for fun and help them blow up their channels. A lot of times people, oh boy, it's like they think their videos are better than they are, honestly. And
tell them, Jimmy, tell them.
I mean, they do.
Now, I don't know about you, but I hear something very, very, very similar here. You're not as good as you think you are. You're not as good as you think you are. And I found myself saying that to my husband. I was like, you know what? With the books, like, as much as I love my stories, I love how my writing has progressed. I love how far it's come. It has definitely gotten better, but I don't feel like I'm as good as I want to be. I'm not as good as I think I am sometimes, if that makes sense. And sorry if you can tell that I'm plugged up. I'm very congested. I'm just trying to find the right words, because for me, that not being where I want to be feeling is such a downer. It's so depressing and so disappointing and frustrating, and it just like eats away at me. But I've started to try to flip the script and see it as more of a positive. There's this quote, I'll put it on the screen here because I can't remember right now and I don't want to butcher it, but the essence of it is that it's actually a good thing that there's this creative gap where we have our taste and how good we want our story to be, and then where we actually are. And it's only through time and the willingness to fail and be bad that we close that gap and become better and become good at something. So over time, I feel like I've been closing the gap and my writing has grown, but it's still not where I want it to be. I'm not as good as I think I am, or as I want people to think that I am. I'm just not. And so it's actually very freeing to own that and be like, no, I'm not as good as I want to be yet.
And that's okay.
I am a failure. I fail all the time, but here's why it's a good thing. Now let's get to my scribbles here and see if they even make sense, because I wrote this late at night. This is what I truly believe success boils down to, is the willingness to fail over and over and over again until you get good at something. So just to take this YouTube channel, for example, I have made over 400 videos. When I first started out, I don't even want to show you a clip. I don't even know. I started on YouTube way before I started an Authortube channel. I was doing music videos.
Everyone said you'll be here in a blink, and my eyes open and close on repeat. Take me home, save me, give me safe.
Those are all privated now at the moment. And then my very first Authortube video was absolutely horrible. Maybe I'll play a little clip for you.
As far as I'm aware, there's not a single blog out there on why a writer should consider doing Kickstarter. And specifically today's topic.
So embarrassing. It's like, it's so bad. Those I would count as failures that got me to where I am today. It isn't possible for me to be comfortable on camera like this without first being uncomfortable and without first failing at it. So anyway, let me come back to my notes. My next point is that almost no one actually enjoys failure. So I'm not over here saying, I love it. It feels good. It does not feel good. It does not. But being willing to fail is almost always part of the backstory of a successful person. I have a random like fake stat here because I don't actually know, but I was like 0.0001% of people do things perfectly on their first try. And I don't actually know what the stat is. Don't quote me on that, but I just almost never have I ever met somebody who's a perfect writer or perfect videographer or perfect, you know, whatever it is, fill in the blank, the very first time that they do it. It's not normal to be perfect your first time, but we naturally think that we can somehow be that 0.00001%, right? And we want to be the person who is the best right off the get-go. And if we are not, it tends to make us stop and quit trying and give up. And that is really what honestly holds everyone back from being successful. So that's coming back to the video title. Failure actually leads you to success because you need to have those failures to become good at something. To be able to get to the successful point, you have to have done quite a bit of failing prior to that. And I think we all know that, but again, we all want to be the exception to the rule, if that makes sense. And actually, even when you do succeed, failure is still normal because nobody is perfect. So what if being perfect or the best, I can't even read my handwriting here, coming up with the revolutionary idea, becoming one of the leaders at what you do requires failing 100 times first, or maybe failing 1,000 times. Then the person who's not afraid to fail is going to actually get there the fastest. If you think about it that way, if you knew I have to fail at something 1,000 times, there are people who will give up. I've heard this. This is not like an original from me. I swear I've heard this as a story somewhere where they're like, some people will give up after like 9 or 10 times. Some people will give up after 100. Some people will give up on the 999th time, right before their success would have come. But if you keep going, if you're willing to keep failing until you get to that success point, you will get there. That's the crazy part. My last point here, if I can read my scribbles right, is that if it's the fear of failure that's holding you back and not the actual guarantee that you're going to fail permanently, then I would encourage you to ask yourself, what if I wasn't afraid of failing? What would I do if I just accepted the failure as part of the process? How would that change my perspective? How would that change my enjoyment of this process? What would I do if I wasn't afraid to fail? And that is something that I'm starting to ask myself more and more is like, so what if I fail? Who cares? So what if I don't make what I call my obsession book? That's like my dream as a writer. If I could pick just one dream, it would be to write what I like to call obsession books, where the readers are just absolutely obsessed with it. Sometimes that fear of failing at that holds me back from writing, and it has been just like a total writer's block. Like not just a little block, but like a huge mountain-sized block that keeps me from being able to create. But if I instead go, what if I fail at it? What if I just make an average book that readers enjoy, but it isn't like their obsession, and it's just like, hey, that's a nice book, that was good. That's fine. Like, not exactly failing, because I think writing a book is not a failure, but failing at my goal of making it an obsession book. What if I need to write 10 more books or 20 more books before that obsession book happens? And what if I knew that I could get there, but I just had to write all those other books leading up to it? How would that change my perspective? I feel like for me, that would make me enjoy writing those books more. It would take the pressure off. It would allow me to focus on just making them the best they can be without impressing the whole entire world. Let's just make these books for me, make them something that I'm proud of. I feel like that kind of approach and not being afraid to fail has really helped me. I'm not by any means perfect at it, but I feel like I've been willing to throw up some very like not amazing YouTube videos, and I learned from those, and then I got better, and then I threw up some more. I was like, you know what, let's put it out there. I'm gonna put up a video every single week, whether it's perfect or not, and every video I try to learn from it and make the next one better. There have been failures for sure. Failures don't have to mean you did nothing. Sometimes failing can be like, wow, I did not get my point across in that video, I need to become a better communicator. Or looking back at the beginning, my audio is terrible, I need to get actual equipment instead of using my computer harder to record videos. And honestly, like, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but I am pretty public about my failures. Like, for example, I unpublished my book and I did this video explaining why, and I literally shared with you my mistakes. And then I've also done videos about my mistakes. And I feel like not only is it valuable for me to share that, because trying to hide it is just ridiculous and not helping anybody, but if I can be honest about my mistakes and show how I'm learning from them, I think it can encourage you guys to do the same. And I think we all could benefit from that kind of mentality. I feel like school and the workplace all cultivate a you can't mess up mindset, and it just holds you back from being creative, from being an entrepreneur. Sorry if you can hear Zion, I have to go get him in a second. He just woke up. But it just holds you back from all these amazing things that you could do if you weren't afraid to fail. So I just wanted to encourage you today. I hope this leaves you with some excitement, and I hope you go out and fail at something. Like, you can do it, because the more you put the time in and you're willing to fail, the closer you're going to get to being amazing at something. I hope this encouraged you, and let me know what you're gonna go fail at today. Put it in the comments. I want to know. I am gonna go fail at writing a first draft of book 3 of The Secret Curse, and the reason that I'm not gonna care about it is because I can come back and edit it later. So I'm gonna go have fun and just see what happens, and I hope you enjoy the process as well. Okay, on that note, I better go get this cute little guy, so I will talk to you guys again very soon. Bye.
All